I want to learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube in under 60 seconds, and might try it on the bike. On January 4th, 2019, I bought my first cube. I actually learned how to solve it back then, but never got anywhere close to solving it in under a minute. In the past 3 years, I've picked up a handful of times, so I dug it out and gave it my first go in a while. Right, day one was about bringing back some memories. I managed to remember the first couple of steps, which I was pretty happy with, but very quickly I began to get stuck and had no idea what the next moves were. At this point I sort of gave up, so I got my phone out and began looking for some help. Luckily I found the exact same guide I used back in 2019, and with the help of that, the memories flooded back. After a few failed attempts, I was able to solve it. I continued practicing with the guide throughout the whole day and started memorising a couple more of the steps on my own, but I was still messing up some of the algorithm, and if you've ever learned the Rubik's Cube, you know making the wrong move right before you're about to complete it is pretty irritating. On day 3 I decided to get my phone back out and start timing my attempts. My first few attempts didn't go as planned and I was still messing up a couple parts, but eventually I got my first time solve and was pretty happy with the result. 2 minutes 9 seconds was cool, but that time was quickly beaten when I was able to chop it down to 1 minute 28. At this stage I had all the main algorithms mostly memorised and it was about increasing my speed. Then, to finish off a pretty successful day, I got a record breaking time of 1 minute 15 seconds. To solve the Rubik's Cube I've been using something called the CFOT method. I could quickly explain it here, but honestly if you're wanting a step-by-step tutorial and loads of other videos on it, I'd recommend the channel JPerm. After getting 1:15 yesterday, I was determined to get a sub-minute on day 4. So I practiced for a bit, then started timing again. While I'm working on my speed, here's a couple factoids. MIT student Ben Katz and Jared DiCarlo managed to build a robot that solved it in 0.38 seconds. Also, a guy called Yusheng Du has the official quickest time of 3.47 seconds. However, a 14-year-old called Ruihang got an insane time of 2.68 seconds. But because his time wasn't recorded at a world cubing competition, it didn't count as a legit record. I actually ran into a similar situation myself here. I'd done it. I got a sub-minute time. I got 58 seconds and was so relieved to finally have done it. Then I checked my GoPro and obviously I didn't press the record button. But then, finally, after hours of practicing and countless close attempts, I got not a sub-minute time again. At this point I was feeling pretty annoyed, so gave up for the day. Day 5 came around and just like yesterday I was getting decent times, but still none were below 60 seconds. However, this day I just felt quicker for some reason and got my best time of 1:01. Then, finally, after 5 days, hours of practicing and countless close attempts, I eventually got a sub-minute time. And I don't know how, but I managed to solve it in 48 seconds. Now I was really happy with that, but there was still one last thing I wanted to do before putting the Rubik's Cube away: the bike solve. There's a stat saying that the average person takes about 3 hours to solve the Rubik's Cube for the first time, and that's with the help of a guide. So even if you just want to solve it once for the bragging rights, just learn it. They're only £5, and yes, the stat says you'll take 3 hours, but honestly with a guide you'll learn it much quicker.